It's 11 p.m., and you're driving home on a quiet road. Suddenly, blue and red lights fill your rearview mirror. Your heart jumps, your palms get sweaty, and even if you have done absolutely nothing wrong, you somehow feel guilty. Why does that happen? Because most people simply don't know their rights. And the people who don't know their rights almost always end up giving them away. Today, I'm going to walk you through something your school never taught you. There are things police officers are legally forbidden from doing when they stop you. And knowing even one of these could protect you from an illegal search, a false arrest, or a conviction for something you never did. So stay with me. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to say, what not to say, and when the law is firmly on your side. This applies whether you live in the United States or the United Kingdom. Let me break it down so that you, not lawyers and not judges, finally understand it. Today's topic is one of the most searched legal questions in both countries. What can police actually do? And what are they absolutely not allowed to do when they pull you over or stop you on the street? Here is what most people fail to realize. The law does not just protect criminals. It protects you every single day, whether you have done anything wrong or not. Let's get into it. First, let's answer the most basic question. Can they even pull you over in the first place? In the United States, this comes down to the Fourth Amendment. Before a police officer can legally stop you, in a vehicle or on foot, they need something called reasonable suspicion. That is the legal threshold. It is not a hunch. It is not a feeling. It is not because you looked nervous. Reasonable suspicion means actual articulable facts that suggest criminal activity may be happening. This standard comes from a landmark 1968 Supreme Court case, Terry v. Ohio. An experienced detective named Martin McFadden noticed two men repeatedly walking back and forth past a store in Cleveland. They kept looking in the window. He believed they were casing the place for a robbery. So he stopped them, patted them down, and found weapons. The Supreme Court ruled that the stop was legal because there were specific observable facts behind it. But here is what that case means for you. If an officer stops you simply because you are in a so-called high-crime neighborhood, that stop may be unconstitutional. If they stop you because you are driving a nice car, that may also be illegal. If they stop you because of how you look, that can be illegal too. And anything found as a result of an illegal stop could be thrown out of court entirely. This is called the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. The idea is simple. If the stop itself is rotten, everything that grows from it is rotten too. So an illegal stop can poison every piece of evidence that follows. Now let's cross the Atlantic to the United Kingdom. The rules there are slightly different, but they are just as important. In England and Wales, police stop and search powers come from two main laws. The first is the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, commonly known as PACE. The second is Section 60 of the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act 1994. These laws give officers certain powers, but those powers have clear legal limits. Under normal circumstances, an officer needs reasonable grounds to suspect you are carrying stolen items, weapons, or items for use in a crime. And here is the crucial part. Reasonable grounds cannot be based on your race. They cannot be based on your age. They cannot be based on the way you are dressed. They cannot be based on the area you are in. And they cannot be based on previous convictions alone. In 2015, the case of Roberts v. Commissioner of Police for the Metropolis challenged the use of Section 60 searches. The courts acknowledged serious civil liberties concerns about how broadly these stop and search powers were being used. So whether you are in Los Angeles or London, the law demands more than a gut feeling before an officer can stop you. Now let's move to the moment that matters most. The traffic stop itself, right there at your window. Let's start with your first key right. You do not have to answer most questions. When an officer walks up to your car in the United States, they will almost always ask something like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Or they might ask, "Where are you coming from?" Or, "What are you doing in this area?" You do not have to answer any of those questions. Under the Fifth Amendment of the US Constitution, you have the right to remain silent. You cannot be punished for invoking that right. You can calmly and politely say, "Officer, I'm going to respectfully exercise my right to remain silent." Now, there are things you do have to provide. You must hand over your driver's license. You must provide your vehicle registration. and you must show your proof of insurance. In most states, that is the full legal requirement. Beyond those documents, silence is your legal right. In the United Kingdom, the situation is similar. You must provide your name and address if you are asked under suspicion of a criminal offence. You must also show your driving documents. But you are not legally required to answer questions about where you have been, where you are going, or who you were with. There is, however, an important nuance in the UK. The official caution states, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Notice that it says it may harm your defence. That is a legal subtlety that really deserves its own discussion. But the baseline right to silence still exists. Now let's move to the right that gets people in trouble the most. They cannot search your car without a legal reason. In the United States, a traffic stop does not automatically give police the right to search your vehicle. To search your car legally, officers need one of the following 5 things. The first is your consent. That means you said yes, so do not say yes. The second is probable cause. That is a specific, articulable reason to believe there is evidence of a crime in the vehicle. For example, the smell of marijuana used to qualify in many states. That is becoming more complicated as cannabis laws change state by state. The third is a warrant signed by a judge. The fourth is a search incident to arrest. If you are being arrested, they can search the area within your immediate reach. The fifth is plain view. If they can see something illegal through the window without searching, that counts. If none of these apply, and an officer searches your car anyway, that search is illegal, and the evidence they find may be suppressed entirely. There is a powerful Supreme Court case here, Arizona v. Gant, decided in 2009. This ruling actually narrowed police search powers significantly. The court held that police cannot search a vehicle incident to arrest if the person is already secured in a police car and poses no threat. After that ruling, many people went back to court and had convictions overturned. In the United Kingdom, under PACE, officers can only search your vehicle if they have reasonable grounds. That means reasonable grounds to suspect you are carrying stolen goods, weapons, or items for criminal use. Or they need specific legal authority, such as a Section 60 order. So in both countries, there is one phrase worth remembering. You can say, calmly and clearly, I do not consent to a search. Saying that does not guarantee they will not search anyway, but it protects your legal rights for everything that follows in court. If the search turns out to be unlawful, your refusal to consent becomes a critical part of your defense. Now, let's talk about your third key right. The police cannot extend the stop indefinitely. This one is pure gold, and most people have no idea it exists. A traffic stop must be reasonably brief. Police cannot simply hold you on the roadside for 45 minutes while they wait for a drug-sniffing dog to arrive. Once the original reason for the stop has been handled, the officer cannot stretch out your detention just hoping to find something else. If they prolong the stop without new reasonable suspicion, that extension itself can be unlawful. And once again, anything discovered during that unlawful delay may be thrown out of court. So let's pull all of this together. Before they stop you, they need reasonable suspicion or reasonable grounds, not just a feeling. During the stop, you must provide your documents, but you have the right to remain silent. They cannot search your vehicle without consent, probable cause, a warrant, or another clear legal basis. And they cannot hold you longer than the stop reasonably requires. If they break any of these rules, the evidence they gather may collapse under the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine and the exclusionary rule. The most important thing you can do is stay calm and stay respectful. You do not need to argue, and you do not need to resist. You simply need to know your rights and state them clearly. Knowing the law is what keeps the law on your side. Drive safely and stay informed.